guys, it's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting video for you, at least I am super excited for it. This was inspired by both Lala from BooksandLala and Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. If you don't follow Lala already, she has this amazing series called the Closet Unhaul series. In her closet, she has several shelves of books that she's had for years, and she'll go back at the beginning of each month and watch her book haul from 2 years ago and pull the books out of the closet that she hasn't yet read and put them on her TBR to read that month as kind of a way to call her unread books. As much as I love this series, I could never do it myself because I don't post monthly book hauls. My TBR, my owned TBR list is nowhere near that long to where I could do this monthly. In comes Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, who posted a video where she reacted to her very first book haul and gave us the fate of each book. I can totally do that. So that is what we're going to do today. We are going to be rewatching my very first book haul that I posted on my channel, and I'm going to be telling you what has happened to these books since I posted this video. This book haul is called Books BookTube Made Me Buy. It was a Christmas haul. It was from Christmas of 2014. I posted it in February of 2015, so I posted my Christmas haul 2 months late. Clearly, my timeliness was even in the shitter back then. Let's see what's happened with these books since then. Let's just go ahead and get right into it.
Hi guys, and welcome to my very first book haul.
I had to turn it way up. I can barely hear myself. I was so afraid to film because I didn't want my mom to hear me. I didn't want to be like caught filming like I was doing something bad. I don't know. You know how you are when you first start BookTube. You're very, or YouTube in general, very aware of other people hearing you. So you can barely hear me speaking in this video. It's so quiet.
Technically this would be my Christmas book haul, but that was like a month ago. Nobody wants to see a Christmas book haul at the end of January. Most of these books.
But you still posted it anyway.
So the very first book that I got is Midwinter's Blood by Marcus Sedgwick.
Okay, so the first book is Midwinter Blood, which I read that year. I think I read it that year for Halloween. I read it in October. Edgy story, I guess would be a good way to describe it. It has to do with the various phases of the moon, and it takes place in one specific location over many years, so in the distant past and in the far future, and it's based around a painting. It's really interesting. The concept is super interesting. So yeah, that one I've already read. So that's one book in this book that I have already. One book in this book, one book in this haul that I've already read. Should I be keeping a tally of this? Probably, right? Let me make a tally sheet real quick. Might make this easier.
I really wanted to read this at Halloween, but I couldn't find it at Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble. Before the days where I realized that you can buy books in other places than Barnes & Noble.
Next book I've actually already read. It's the only book in this haul that I have read.
Oh, a book I've already read.
So good. So good. It is Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. This is the fifth.
Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan, as I said in the book haul. I had already read it before I even filmed this book haul. It was the final book in the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. Rick Riordan, as you know, is one of my absolute favorite authors of all time. That was the very first book talk I ever filmed for my channel. So you can go check that out. It's still up. It's very awkward. So, I mean, but I did film a book haul, a book talk on that book.
The 10th book in the Percy Jackson saga, if you want to.
I hate the way that I talk in this video. I'm so obnoxious.
I also have like their adventures, and if you haven't read this yet,
just kind of
where on earth have you been? And this next book
fix
is, I read both of her other books, and that is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Like I said, I've already read that too. I think I read that like that month. I think I read it in February of 2015, and it's not my favorite of Gillian Flynn's books. Dark Places is still my favorite of the three that, you know, she's only ever gonna write. I filmed a book talk on that book as well, and that is one of my most viewed videos on my channel, which I don't understand. I've gotten a lot of really bizarre comments on that book talk as well. If I had edited this now, this video would probably be like half the length, because there's so many pauses, and there's so many ums, and I'm obnoxious. I'm annoying myself. This next book is a cult favorite. I know it's controversial. The way the series ended.
How would you know?
By Lauren.
It's controversial the way the series ended. How would you know? You've never even read it. Delirium by Lauren Oliver. This book I've actually unhauled. I don't have it anymore. I actually wanted it because of the controversy it caused on BookTube and of the dislike in the ending of it. But then I was like, why am I going to read a whole trilogy with the intention of not liking it? Like, that just seems like a waste of my time.
This next book is the first book in a spin-off series to another series I haven't even read yet.
I already know what it is before I even show it. It is The Witches of East End. Is that right?
That is The Witches of East End by Melissa de la Cruz, and I have this hideous Lifetime cover.
That one is also another book that I've unhauled. I don't have it anymore because it was the first book in a spin-off series to another series that I didn't own or hadn't have read and don't really plan to read anymore. So why would I have that? Like, unnecessary. So bye.
And that is Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins.
Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. You guys know. You guys know how much I love that book. I've already read it. I've read the whole series, and it's just one of my favorites.
And this blah, blah, blah. And that is Shadow Me by
I sounded like a pufferfish. Okay, I think the next book I'm about to hold up is Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. I've read Shatter Me. I read it that year, and I did not much care for it. Actually, when I finished it, I gave it a 4-star. I'm like, oh yeah, this is amazing. I love it so much. But then as time had gone on and I talked about it more with other booktubers and my like reading taste just expanded, I realized that Shatter Me was not good. I did not like it. So I think it's now sitting on my Goodreads at like 2 stars. I'm going to try to reread it though so I can finish the series because I am still curious about like the Warner character development and the Massacre of Adam. Like, I'm kind of curious to see how these characters like get so swapped in the later books.
The next book is also because of BookTube, and that is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer.
Oh my gosh, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I freaking loved this book so much.
Everyone on BookTube raves about this series. I did not hear about it until that god-awful movie came out, and that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead.
Had I not seen the movie yet? There's no way I could have seen the movie yet because I actually love the Vampire Academy movie. I read that probably right after I filmed this video and I hated Vampire Academy. I gave it like a 2 stars. Like, I really did not like it. I'm actually pretty surprised that I continued reading the series considering how low that rating was for it.
That is Silo by DJ McHale. She hauled this.
This one I don't have anymore. This one I actually unhauled. At the time, this sounded really, really good and I really was excited about it. But since then, there's just been so many other books that I'm like really pumped for that this one just unfortunately never made it into my TBR or anything. Never heard anybody talk about it other than the one video where Reagan hauled it. I've never heard this book ever reviewed or talked about. So maybe it's actually not very good and I saved myself.
This little blurb on top by Mr. Kirkus. Why would you not want to read this? Listen to this. Yeah.
Did you hear what I just said? By Mr. Kirkus. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed of my past self. I didn't know what Kirkus was. That is hilarious. I sound like such a idiot.
That is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell.
Oh, did not like, do not understand the hype, have since unhauled. That's really all I have to say about it. Rainbow Rowell in general just isn't really for me. I'm not very impressed by really any of her books. Whoops.
Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld.
Another one that I've unhauled. Oh my gosh, I feel like there's only 2 options in this video. It's like books I've read and books I've unhauled. I do really like the Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld, but I did not ever give this a try. I never read it. I never picked it up. It sat on my shelf for like 2 years, and then I decided it was time to unhaul it.
And that is The Fifth Wave by...
Read it, really enjoyed it, never continued with the series. The movie was an abomination. I have no desire to read the rest of the series anymore because I've heard nothing good about the last 2 books at all. So like, I had a great time reading The Fifth Wave. I gave it 5 stars. Do I really want to taint that experience with the 2nd and 3rd book? I did try to read The Infinite Sea and I only got about 30 pages into it. And I read it, or I picked it up almost right after finishing The Fifth Wave. And I still wasn't very into it. So I don't think I'm ever going to be actually finishing that series. Oops.
Everyone raves about this book and about how perfect.
I think you've said that for every single book so far.
And that is Lola and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins.
Lola and the French Kiss. I hate myself right now. I've obviously read this book. I recommend it all the time. It's one of my favorite contemporaries. Although nowadays people have a very salty taste in their mouth towards it.
The finale for this book comes out later this year.
Why do I explain things before I show you the books? That makes no sense. Like, show them the book and then explain what the book is about.
2015. Obviously, I have to get on board the train. That is Cinder by Marissa Meyer.
I read it like at the very beginning of my BookTube channel. I'm currently rereading the series and I really enjoyed it the first time I read it. I'm enjoying it even more now. So yet again, another one that I have already read. Funny that I mentioned that I want to get caught up on the series before winter comes out so that I can read Winter when it's released. Yeah, I still haven't read Winter.
I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie, and that is If I Stay.
I was gonna say a book I haven't read, but I've actually already unhauled this one too. So another book that I have not yet read, but I unhauled it. I don't have it anymore. I just don't have any desire to watch the movie anymore or read the book, so it's gone from my life.
But I got the duology. I got the first book, which is If I Stay.
Well, obviously, if I unhauled the one, I unhauled the other. I didn't keep book 2 and not read book 1.
Words are hard for me today.
Words are hard for you every day, actually.
Okay, and then the final book.
The final book, we're at the end.
Percy Jackson. The
Percy
final book after
Jackson.
Christmas is Percy Jackson's Greek.
I've already read this one as well. This one I actually listened to on audiobook, and it was phenomenal on audiobook. I can't believe I've never listened to any of Rick Riordan's books on audiobook since then, because this was so funny. Like, it was laugh out loud hilarious. So I definitely plan to listen to the second one. There's like a Greek Heroes version now as well on audio, and now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should try like the Trials of Apollo on audio too. Another one that I have already read. So that is the entirety of my very first book haul on BookTube. Out of the total of 17 books, this equals 17, right? It equals 18. I have 18 tally marks. That makes no sense. I said I had 17 books to show you, and then I have 18 tallies. Maybe I counted the If I Stay Where She Went duology as like one book. Anyway, out of the 17 books in that haul, 18, we'll say 18, I have read 12 of them and unhauled 7, because one of the books I read I actually also unhauled. I read 12, I did not read 6, and I've unhauled 7. I think that's a pretty good amount read from a book haul that happened 3 years ago. 6 that I didn't end up reading, I've already unhauled. Like, I don't have them anymore. I don't have a single book on my shelf from this video that I haven't read yet. I'm pretty proud of myself. Past Jordan, you've done pretty good. Now I kind of want to go back and watch my other book hauls and see how well I did there. It's very odd to go back and look and see how you first interacted with the camera and how you first edited your videos, because it's pretty bad. Let's just, let's be real. I really liked this. This was a really fun video to do. If you want to see me go back and watch a couple of my other book hauls too, see how I've fared with those ones, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!